going to try to do things in chronological order here. Probably easier if I just remember certain things and just talk about it. I was just thinking about a day when Mark had stood up against Richard, something he never did. I had gotten into Mark's head. Because the truth of the matter was, this was towards the end of me being there. The truth of the matter was, Richard was nothing but a false prophet. And these entities that came through him, I have no idea what they were. Still don't. If there were anything besides his crazy mind. He said something to Richard, I don't remember what it was. But how dare he second guess the, what do they call them? I can't remember what they called them. The memories. Memories, that's what they called them. These beings were memories. Well, how dare Mark second guess the memories? Richard just started pummeling him. Richard's a big guy. He was. Bigger than me. He just started hitting Mark. Mark is like 5'3", maybe 120, 130 pounds. Started punching him and punching him and punching him in the face. I swear to God, he would have killed him. And the rest of them would have stood around and watched. I got up. I grabbed Richard from behind, of his arms, so he would, not kill Mark. It just reflects in my mind the way things got quickly. There was a lot of hatred up there between each other. I had to pull Laura off her second wife one day too. And she wanted to fight me. You were horrible people. If those of you who are still alive, most of you are still horrible. So, Mark, with his ego, was convinced by Richard that if he ran, he would win. Now, this county judge was not very popular, but Mark was a complete unknown. I said to Richard one day, because he was talking about when Mark wins, we'll do this. When Mark wins, we'll do that. Counting your eggs before they're hatched. I said, Richard, if Mark wins, if it's the Lord's will. Oh, it's the Lord's will, he said to me. It's the Lord's will. Mark's going to win. Well, Mark got 776 votes. Obviously, he didn't win. When Richard said that to me, I was telling everybody on the Hill, if Mark loses this, I'm out of here. My parents came up in the summertime of '98, and I told them what was going on and how I wanted to get out of there. My dad very wisely said to me, you need to support him in this campaign. You need to support him, because if you don't, they're going to blame you when he loses. So I went all out for Mark. Campaigned with him, house to house, talking to people. 776 76 votes. I don't think I need to tell you the significance of that number. I think I've covered just about everything that was important in those days. Most days were just drudgery or boring. Richard accepted our money when I worked my butt off. And what did I get in return? I got to eat trash. Well, making sure I don't forget anything before I leave the hill mentally. We did have a news crew come up there once. They had done a little expose or whatever of the bus people, which they were called back when they were in Louisville. And it was sort of an update of what was going on. I said the prophetic words. It's recorded. Louisville News back in that, it's been 98 I think, summer of 98. I said, I don't know what's going to become of this group, but I know they're going to be known well beyond Kentucky. You will be. You'll be well known. Thanks to me. Trust me. I ain't going to be talking too well about you. Just the truth. I came down here to Huntsville. My dad sent me a bus ticket for Thanksgiving of '98. So I came down here to Huntsville for Thanksgiving. And while I was here, I tried to sort of get things in order so that I could come back. I couldn't find a job, because I couldn't start right away and such and such. I was still keeping the Sabbath and could go to work on these holy days, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't get a job right when I was down there, but I was still getting things straightened out. I got a job, finally got a job up in Kentucky. I immediately talked to this guy who was friends with the family, who allowed us to come down and take water out of his well, not knowing how much water is in there. We came down there and got water out of his well all the time. Well, I talked to him after I got the job, and I worked out with him a deal where I could stay there. I saved all my money. I told Richard that I was leaving. And I told him it was because of a couple of reasons. I wanted to go back to school, which was never going to happen up there. And I wanted to find a woman. If I had fallen in love with a woman, do you think I really wanted to bring her up there to live with me in that shithole place? He said he understood. Trust me, the niceties between me and those people on the hill did not last. And I lived right at the bottom of the hill, laying there in bed, hearing their trucks go by every day. The job I got was with Mark. Mark and I were both working at the same place. Place that made small engines, were like lawnmowers and stuff. Well, this is going to have to go to another video. Well, I got a couple of minutes. It didn't take long before Mark stopped picking me up. He would pick me up because I was right there at the bottom of the hill. And he's going there anyway and drive me to work. So I had to get this guy I was staying with to start driving me to work. I'll leave that part of my life for another video. It's hard to believe it only took a few videos to get through the hill, but I felt at that point in my life when I finally got back here to Huntsville that I had failed those people. I never failed them. I actually believed they would change, but they had no intention to. So I left the hill in December of '98.